Welcome back. Today we are going to study measures of position for group data. In this video, the learners are able to, number 1, calculate measures of position for group data, and number 2, interpret results. Ang formula na gagamitin natin for quartiles for group data is this: Q sub k equals LB plus quantity Kn over 4 minus CFB over FQK times I. So yung mga to, ito ang meaning nila. LB is the lower boundary of the quartile class. N is the total frequency. CFB is the cumulative frequency of the class before the quartile class. I is the size of the interval. FQK is the frequency of the kth quartile class. K is the nth quartile where n equals 1, 2, and 3. So apply natin yung ating formula with our first example. Calculate first quartile, second quartile, and third quartile of the mathematics test scores of students taking modular learning. So mapapansin nyo dito, pag group data, meron ka ng classes dito and then meron kang frequency. So ang kinaiba nito sa ungroup data kasi pure numbers lang yung mga ibinibigay. So gamitin natin yung ating formula. Pero bago gamitin pala yung ating formula, kailangan magdadagdag ka pa ng additional 2 columns. Yung idadagdag na unang column is for our lower boundary at yung pangalawang column na idadagdag is for the less than cumulative frequency. So pag ginawa natin yon, itong mangyayari. Ang original given natin dito is itong dalawang columns na to, si scores tsaka si frequency. So nagdagdag lang tayo ng lower boundary at saka less than cumulative frequency. Ngayon, i-total muna natin yung ating frequencies. Pagpa-plus-plusin natin to. So 1 plus 5 plus 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 5 plus 4 plus 2. When we get the total, n equals 30. So kunin natin ang lower boundary. Para makuha natin ang lower boundary, magma-minus tayo ng 0.5 sa bawat lower limits dito. Ano-ano ba yung mga lower limits? Yung lower limits dito sa classes na to ay 50, 45, 40, 35 hanggang sa 15. Magma-minus ka lang ng 0.5 sa bawat lower limit. So 50 minus 0.5, 50 minus 0.5, that's equal to 49.5. Lalagay mo lang siya dito, 49.5. Next, 45 minus 0.5, that's equal to 44.5. So lalagay mo lang doon. That's equal to 44.5. Tuloy lang natin, 40 minus 0.5 is 39.5. 35 minus 0.5 is 34.5. 30 minus 0.5 is 29.5. 25 minus 0.5 is 24.5. 20 minus 0.5 is 19.5. 15 minus 0.5 is 14.5. Ganun lang ang paglalagay dito sa ating lower boundary column. So erase na natin part na to. Ngayon, ang susunod na gagawin is complete natin yung column para kay less than cumulative frequency. Under this column, magi-start ka dito sa class na may pinakamababang numbers. So si 15 to 19, dito ka magi-start. Take into consideration ano yung frequency niya. Ang frequency dito ay 2. So ang gagawin natin, lalagay mo lang siya dito. Kopyahin mo lang yung lowest class, yung frequency ng lowest class, which is 2. Next, yung 2 na to, ipa-plus natin dun sa may next na frequency, which is 4. So 2 plus 4, alam natin that that's equal to 6. Lalagay mo lang siya dito. Continue mo lang. So 6, ipa-plus siya sa next na frequency. So 6 plus 5 is 11. So lalagay mo lang siya dyan. Susunod, 11 plus 7. Ayan. 11 plus 7 is 18. So we have 18. Continue lang natin hanggang makarating tayo dun sa taas. 18 plus 4, that's 22. 22 plus 2 is 24. 24 plus 5 is 29. 29 plus 1 is equal to 30. Okay, so tapos na natin na makomplete yung ating idinagdag na dalawang columns for lower boundary and less than cumulative frequency. Ang gagawin na susunod is we are going to locate nasaan si first quartile class. Again, ang hinahanap natin is Q sub 1. Para ma-locate natin yung first quartile class, gagamitin natin yung formula na K times N over 4. Ang K natin will be replaced by 1 because we are looking for Q sub 1. Ang N natin, papalitan natin ng 30. So, pag sinubstitute natin si 1 na 30, we'll have 1 times 30 over 4. Let's simplify. 1 times 30 is 30. So, that will be 30 over 4. 30 divided by 4 is equal to 7.5. Gamit po si ating calculator. Na ilolocate natin nasaan yung ating first quartile class gamit itong computed value natin na 7.5. Para malaman yung ating first quartile class, magre-refer tayo dito sa less than cumulative frequency. So dito tayo titingin. Hahanapin natin yung pinakamalapit na number na greater than or equal kay 7.5. So isa-isahin natin. So si 2 hindi siya pwede dahil mas mababa siya kay 7.5. Dapat kasi closest na mas mataas o equal kay 7.5. So kapos kay number 2 or kay 2. Next, si 6 naman. Si 6 less than pa rin siya kay 7.5. So kapos pa rin. Pagdating natin dito sa part na to, so 11 na. Si 11 pasok siya doon sa condition na pinakamalapit at saka greater than or equal to. Therefore, etong class na to yung ating first quartile class. Okay? Pag na-identify na natin yung ating quartile class, pwede na natin gamitin yung ating formula. Q sub K equals LB plus quantity K times N over 4 minus CFB over FQK times I. Gagawin natin, hahanapin muna natin yung mga specific values nung mga kasama dito sa ating formulas. So, kunin natin yung given. Magre-refer na tayo doon sa ating quartile class. Yung selected po na to, yung naka-highlight. So, yung ating lower boundary is the lower boundary of our quartile class or first quartile class, which is 24.5. Ayun siya. Ang N natin, alam natin, that's equal to 30 base sa ating given. Yung cumulative frequency before the quartile class, so hindi ba ito yung ating quartile class, yung kulay green? Ang kukunin natin is yung before. So yung before niya, yung nasa ibaba ay 6. That's why the cumulative frequency before the quartile class is 6. Yung frequency naman of the quartile class, ito yon, which is 5. So, ito yung frequency of the quartile class. Yung highlighted again, ito yung ating first quartile class. So, frequency now doon ay 5. Next, yung interval naman natin, para makuha yung ating interval, pag ma-minusin mo yung upper limit at saka yung lower limit plus 1. So, 29 minus 25 plus 1. Lagi kang plus 1 pagka ganun yung ating formula na susundin. So, upper limit minus lower limit plus 1. 29 minus 25 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. So, ang interval natin or class interval is equal to 5. Okay? So, nakuha na natin yung mga kailangan natin. Pwede na natin siyang isubstitute sa ating formula. So, si Q sub K, magiging Q sub 1 yan. Yan. So, magiging Q sub 1. Si lower boundary of the first quartile class is 24.5. So, sinubstitute. Diba si Kn over 4 na compute na natin? Si Kn over 4 na compute na natin as 7.5. So, pwede mo na kagad i-rectang substitute yon. So, sinubstitute na kagad 7.5 minus si cumulative frequency before the quartile class is 6. So, substitute naging 6. Si frequency of the quartile class is 5 base sa ating given, so sinubstitute. At yung ating interval na 5, sinubstitute din as 5. Next, simplify natin itong part na to. So, kopyahin natin to, subtract 7.5 minus 6 is 1.5. So, that will be Q sub 1 equals 24.5 plus 1.5 divided by 5 times 5. Next, 1.5 divided by 5, that's equal to 0.3. Next is 0.3 times 5. Unahin muna natin yung nandito kasi PEMDAS rule bago ka mag-add. So, 0.3 times 5, that's equal to 1.5. Gamit ang ating calculator. Last step is add mo na lang siya. So, 24.5 plus 1.5, that's equal to 26. Pwede rin naman na dito, rekta mo nang kunin yung value. Not necessarily naman na kailangan pa ipakita itong part na to. So, pwede na sa part na to, pwede ka na magpunta kagad doon kung ipipress mo siya kaagad sa iyong calculator. So, ang lumabas nating value ay 26. And that's our final answer. The first quartile is equal to 26. Interpretation. Dahil Q sub 1 equals 26, this means that 25% of the students scored less than or equal to 26. Ganon ang pag-compute ng measures of position for group data gamit yung ating formula. So, punta tayo sa next part. Hanapin naman natin si second quartile using the same given. Ito pa rin yung ating given na compute na natin kanina, na complete na natin itong dalawang tables na to. This time, ang hahanapin naman natin is the second quartile. Okay, so ang gagawin ulit, hahanapin mo si second quartile class. So, Q sub 2, maghahanap natin si second quartile class gamit yung ating formula, Kn over 4. Over 4 kasi quartile. Pagka naman decile yung hinahanap, so Kn over 10. Pag percentile, Kn over 100. So, si K papalitan natin ng 2. Si N naman papalitan ng 30. And that will be 2 times 30 over 4. 2 times 30 is 60. So, that will be 60 over 4. 60 divided by 4 is equal to 15. 15 yung ating computed value. Hahanapin na natin yung ating second quartile class gamit si 15. Ang magiging reference natin is less than cumulative frequency. So, alin dito ang pinakamalapit na greater than or equal kay 15? Isa-isahin natin. So, si 2, kapos. Kasi less than 15, hindi siya. Si 6, kapos din. Kasi less than 15. Si 11, hindi rin. Kasi less than 15 din siya. Tama. So, si 18, pasok. Ito yung pinakamalapit na greater than or equal kay 15. Ibig sabihin, our second quartile class is this. Ito yung second quartile class. So, na-identify na natin yung ating second quartile class. We can now use our formula. Q sub K equals LB plus quantity Kn over 4 minus CFB over FUK times I. Jot down natin yung given. Si lower boundary is 29.5. Ayun siya. Makikita dun sa highlighted part. Si N natin is still 30. Si cumulative frequency before the second quartile class, so before meaning yung nasa baba, ito yung ating second quartile class. So yung nasa ibaba niya na frequency ay 11. So yun yung value ni cumulative frequency before 11. Si frequency naman of the quartile class, ito mismo siya. So that's 7. And then yung ating interval, pag ma-minusin mo si upper limit tsaka si lower limit plus 1. 34 minus 30 plus 1. So 34 minus 30 is 4 plus 1, that's equal to 5. So ang interval natin ay 5. Nakuha na natin ito, so pwede na nating substitute sa ating formula. This time, si Q sub K magiging Q sub 2 na yan. So pag sinubstitute, ito magiging Q sub 2. Si lower boundary, 29.5. So, sinubstitute. Si Kn over 4, again, na-compute na natin. Ang naging value natin kanina dyan, 15. So, palit mo lang doon, 15. Minus, cumulative frequency before is 11. So, substitute. Frequency of the quartile class, 7. Substitute doon. Interval ay 5. Substitute. Simplify natin. 15 minus 11 is 4. So, that will be Q sub 2 equals 29.5 plus 4 over 7 times 5. Dito, pwede na divide mo si 4 by 7 tapos rekta mo kagad na yung lalabas na sagot ay 5. Ita-times sa 5 rather. So, 4 divided by 7 times 5. Dito kasi, medyo mahaba yung magiging sagot natin. So pagka ganun, i-round off mo muna siya sa 4 decimal places. Pero kung pwede mo siyang gawin sa iyong calcu ng rekta kaagad, sa final answer mas mainam. Doing that, we now have q sub 2 equals 29.5 plus, so itong 4 divided by 7, tapos yung sagot times 5, ito yung lumabas. Actually, mahaba itong decimal, ni-round off ko na lang siya sa 4 decimal places. Okay? So, ang lumabas natin ay 2.8571. Last step, add na lang natin to. 29.5 plus 2.8571, ang lalabas nating answer is 32.3571. Sa ating final answer, pwede ka nang mag-round off up to 2 decimal places lamang. So, pag ni-round off natin to, q sub 2 equals 32.36 kasi 7 yung third na number. So, magdadagdag ka dito, magiging sa halip na 0.35, magiging 0.36 na lang siya. Therefore, q sub 2 or the second quartile equals 32.36. And that's our final answer. Interpretation. This means that 50% of the students scored less than or equal to 32.36. Ganun po ang pag-compute gamit yung ating formula. Now, using the same given, hanapin naman natin si q sub 3. Ayan. So, ito pa rin yung ating given, the lower boundary less than cumulative frequency. Ito pa rin yung ating table. Ang hahanapin naman is si third quartile. So, ang unang step, hanapin natin yung third quartile class. Mahahanap si third quartile class gamit yung ating formula, kn over 4. This time si k papalitan ng 3, si n ay 30. So, by substitution, we have 3 times 30 over 4. 3 times 30 is 90. That will be 90 over 4. 90 divided by 4, that's equal to 22.5. Now, si 22.5 ang magiging reference natin or basis sa paghanap ng third quartile class. Hanapin natin si third quartile class in reference to this less than cumulative frequency. Siyempre, si 2 hindi pwede kasi less than. Si 6 hindi rin pwede kasi mas mababa kay 22.5. Si 11 hindi rin pwede kasi mas mababa kay 22.5. Dapat kasi yung pinakamalapit na greater than or equal to. Si 18 kapos pa rin kay 22.5. Tama, less than pa rin, so hindi siya. What about 22? Si 22, base dito, si 22 mas mababa pa rin siya no? Kay 22.5. Dapat kasi pinakamalapit na mataas or equal lamang. So, ang ibig sabihin, si 24 lang ang pasok dun sa ating condition. Si 24 kasi, yung pinakamalapit at mas mataas kay 22.5. So, meaning, yung class na to yung ating third quartile class. Dahil nahanap na natin yung ating third quartile class, pwede na nating magamit yung ating formula. So, this is the formula. Jot down natin yung ating mga given. For the given, si lower boundary is 39.5. Si n natin ay 30, hindi naman nabago. Si cumulative frequency before the third quartile class, so before yung nasa baba nun. Ang nasa baba nun is 22. That's why yung value niya ay 22. Si frequency of the quartile class is 2. Base dito ayun. Then yung interval natin, that's 44 minus 40 plus 1. So 44 minus 40 is 4 plus 1, that's equal to 5. Actually, pwede rin naman na dito ka mag-minus. Si 45 minus 40, 5 pa rin. So yun pa rin yung lalabas na interval niya. Okay? Nakuha na natin yung mga values, so pwede na natin i-substitute dito. By substitution, we have this. Si q sub k naging q sub 3 dahil yun yung ating hinahanap. Si lower boundary is 39.5. Ayun, pinalit. Si kn over 4, na-compute na natin to as 22.5. So, pinalit lang natin dito as 22.5. Minus, si cumulative frequency before, ayun siya, 22. So, substitute. Si frequency of the quartile class is 2. Ito siya. Interval is 5. Next, simplify natin na sa taas. 22.5 minus 22, that's 0.5. So we have q sub 3 equals 39.5 plus 0.5 over 2, times 5. Dito, sa part na to, pwedeng rekta na kaagad or diretso. So, 0.5 divided by 2, yung lalabas na sagot, i-times mo kaagad kay 5 gamit yung inyong calculator. Doing that, we have this. Q sub 3 equals 39.5 plus 1.25. Ito yung result pag sinimplify to. 0.5 divided by 2, yung lalabas na answer times 5, ito kaagad siya, 1.25. Add na natin, 39.5 plus 1.25, that is equal to 40.75. And 40.75 is our final answer. The third quartile is 40.75. Interpretation. This means that 75% of the students scored less than or equal to 40.75. Ang ginawa natin in this example is hinanap natin yung quartiles, first, second, and third quartiles for group data. Proceed naman tayo sa deciles for group data. By the way, ang formula in computing the deciles for group data is this. D sub k equals LB plus quantity kn over 10 minus CFB over FDK times I. Mapapansin nyo, it's almost similar dun sa una nating formula. Pinalitan lang to ng D, tas ito ng D. It's almost the same. Tapos dito naman, imbis na 4 ang nakalagay, 10. Kasi di ba ang decile, sinahati niya ang distribution into 10 equal parts. In the formula, LB is the lower boundary, N is the total frequency, CFB is the cumulative frequency of the class, before the D sub k class, I is the size, FDK is the frequency of the kth decile class, K is the nth decile where N equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Ayan. So para mas magets, apply natin yung formula with our next example. Example number 2. Calculate 4th decile and the 7th decile of the statistics test scores of 40 college freshmen. Interpret the result. So, ito yung ating given lamang. Ito yung mga scores. Ito yung ating frequency. Obviously, this is a group data kasi may classes ka at saka may frequency. Pag ungroup kasi, walang ganito. Kabud numbers lang ang ibinigay. So, ang gagawin muna natin dito is mag-create tayo ng additional 2 columns para kay lower boundary at saka kay less than cumulative frequency. Doing that, we now have this. Ayan. Ito yung ating original given. Nag-create lang tayo ng additional 2 tables para kay lower boundary and less than cumulative frequency. Unahin muna nating hanapin si 4th decile. Ang gawin natin, kunin natin yung total frequencies. So 3 plus 4 plus 6 plus 11 plus 8 plus 5 plus 3, adding these numbers, ang n natin ay 40. Computein natin ang lower boundary. Sa pag-compute ng lower boundary, again, kukunin natin yung mga lower limits. Ma-minusan lang natin siya ng 0.5. So 90 minus 0.5 is 89.5. Yun yung lalagay mo dito. So that's 89.5. Next, 80 minus 0.5, that's 79.5. So lagi lang natin 79.5. Continue mo lang yung step. 70 minus 0.5 is 69.5. 60 minus 0.5 is 59.5. 50 minus 0.5 is 49.5. 40 minus 0.5 is 39.5. 30 minus 0.5 is 29.5. So, na-complete na natin yung ating lower boundary column. Complete naman natin yung less than cumulative frequency column. Dito naman tayo. Again, magsisimula ka doon sa lowest class. Ito, si 30 over 30 minus 30 to 39 rather. Consider mo yung frequency niya which is 3. So, yung frequency niya nung lowest class ay 3. Kakopy mo lang siya dito. Ayan, so 3. Next, si 3, i-add mo yung next na frequency 2 which is 5. So, 3 plus 5, that's equal to 8. Ayan. Next, 8, a-add mo yung susunod na frequency. So, 8 plus 8 is equal to 16. Ayan. 16 plus 11 is equal to 27. Continue mo lang hanggang makarating ka sa taas. 27 plus 6, that's 33. 33 plus 4 is 37. 37 plus 3, that's equal to 40. Kung mapapansin nyo, dapat yung final number dito sa taas equal dun sa ating n. So, ang n mo ay 40, 40 din dapat ito. Na-complete na natin yung ating table. Ang next na nagagawin is, we are going to locate nasan si fourth decile class. We can locate the fourth decile class gamit yung ating formula, kn over 10. Dito naman, 10 yung gagawin mong ilalim kasi decile yung nawawala. K will be replaced by 4. Ang n natin will be replaced by 40. So, 4 times 40 over 10. 4 times 40 is 160. And 160 divided by 10 is equal to 16. So, 16 yung ating computed value. Gamit si 16, hahanapin natin yung pinakamalapit na greater than or equal dito kay 16. So, si 3 hindi kasi less than. Si 8 hindi kasi less than pa rin siya kay 16. Si 16, it's the closest. Actually, equal na nga siya no? So, meaning, ito yung ating fourth decile class. Yung pinakamalapit na greater than or exactly equal doon sa computed value na 16. So, this is the fourth decile class. Dahil na-identify na natin yung fourth decile class, pwede na natin gamitin yung ating formula. Ito yung ating formula, d sub k equals lb plus quantity k n over 10 minus cfb over fdk times I. Kunin natin yung ating mga given. Ang lower boundary natin is 49.5. Ang n natin the same, 40. Ang cumulative frequency before the fourth decile class, before meaning yung nasa baba. So, ito yung ating highlighted na fourth decile class, yung nasa baba ay 8. So, yun po yung lumabas, 8. Si frequency naman of the decile class, ito yun. Ayan. So, fdk is 8. Then, yung interval natin, pag minusin mo lang yung upper limit by its lower limit, 59 minus 50, then plus 1. So, 59 minus 50 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So, therefore, ang interval natin ay 10. Nakuha na natin yung mga kailangan nating numbers, so isa-substitute na natin in this formula. Si d sub k magiging d sub 4 na yan. By substitution, we have this. d sub k naging d sub 4. Si lower boundary natin nandito sa given, 49.5. So, ayun. Si kn over 10, na-compute na natin as 16. So, palit mo na kagad to doon. So, naging 16. Si cumulative frequency before is 8, substitute. Si frequency of the decile class is 8, also substitute. Interval is 10, substitute. Next, 16 minus 8 is 8. So, ituloy simplify natin. Copy the rest. D sub 4 equals 49.5 plus 8 over 8 times 10. Pwede na natin itong i-compute kagad. 8 divided by 8 times 10. So, 8 divided by 8 is 1. 1 times 10 is 10. So, magiging fourth decile equals 49.5 plus 10. Sinimplify lang natin itong part na to. 49.5 plus 10, that is equal to 59.5. Our fourth decile equals 59.5. Interpretation. This means that 40% of the college freshmen scored less than or equal to 59.5. I hope this is clear to everybody, but let's have the next part. Using the same given, hanapin naman natin si 7th decile. Ito pa rin yung ating given. So, kinopya na lang natin yung ginawa natin kanina. First step, locate natin nasan si 7th decile class. We can do that by using the formula kn over 10. This time, si k papalitan ng 7 at si n naman ng 40. By substitution, we have 7 times 40 over 10. 7 times 40 is 280. 280 divided by 10 is equal to 28. Ang computed value natin ay 28. Now, ilolocate natin yung ating 7th decile class. Ang reference natin or ang titingnan is yung less than cumulative frequency column. So, hahanapin natin yung pinakamalapit na greater than or equal to 28. Si 3 hindi dahil less than 28. Si 8 hindi dahil less than 28. Si 16 hindi dahil less than 28. Si 27 hindi rin dahil less than 28. So, ang hinahanap natin ay si 33. Kasi si 33, ito na yung pinakamalapit na greater than o kaya ay equal kay 28. So, therefore, ito yung ating 7th decile class. Dahil na-identify na natin yung ating 7th decile class, pwede na nating magamit yung ating formula. D sub k equals LB plus Kn over 10 minus CFB over FDK times I. Hanapin natin yung ating mga given. Ang lower boundary niya is 69.5. Base dito sa ating table. Ang n niya is still 40. Cumulative frequency before. So, ito yung ating 7th decile class. So, cumulative frequency before, yung nasa baba nun is 27. Kaya ang value nito ay 27. Ang frequency of the decile class is 6. Kaya siya 6 dito. Interval is 79 minus 70 plus 1. 79 minus 70 is 9 plus 1 is 10. So, ang interval natin ay 10. Nakuha na natin to ngayon. Substitute natin sa ating formula. By substitution, we have this. D sub 7 equals, ang lower boundary natin ay 69.5. Yung Kn over 10 na compute na natin. Ang computed value natin dyan ay 28. So, substitute mo lang, that's equal to 28. Ang cumulative frequency before is 27. So, substitute. Frequency is 6. So, substitute. Interval is 10. 28 minus 27 is 1. We now have 7th decile equals 69.5 plus 1 over 6 times 10. 1 divided by 6 times 10, that's equal to 1.6666. Actually, mahaba yung decimal na sagot dito. Ni-round off ko lang siya into 4. 4 decimal muna. But you can do or perform this calculation ng isang pindutan lang sa ating or isang mathematical sentence lang sa ating calculator. Mas okay yon. Tapos sa final answer, dun ka mag-round off ng 2 decimal places. Pero dito, ang ginawa ko lang is, yung part lang na to is, ni-round off ko sa 4 decimal. Next, add mo na lang sa 69.5 plus 1.6667. The 7th decile is 71.16667. Round off mo lang sa 2 decimal dahil 6 to, tapos 6 yung susunod, so magdadagdag ka ng isa. Therefore, D sub 7 equals 71.17. And that is our final answer. Interpretation. This means that 70% of the college freshmen scored less than or equal to 71.17. I hope this is clear to everybody. Napunta naman tayo sa percentiles. By the way, ang formula in computing the percentiles for group data is this. P sub k equals LB plus quantity Kn over 100 minus CFB over FPK times I. As you notice, almost similar siya dun sa unang dalawang formulas. Ang pinalitan lang ito. Imbis na QK or DK, P sub K naman dito. Tapos yung nandito, over 100 na kasi percentiles nga, di ba? Tapos dito, imbis na FDK or FQK, FPK naman yung nandito. Ganun pa rin yung ating legend. So, LB is the lower boundary, N is the total frequency, CFB is the cumulative frequency before, I is the size, FPK is the frequency of the kth percentile class. Ang K natin, pwedeng palitan ng 1, 2, 3 hanggang 97, 98, 99. Okay, apply natin ngayon yung ating formula. Example number 3. Calculate the 90th percentile from the ages of randomly selected members of the families in a certain barangay. Ito yung ating given. Ang gagawin natin is we will add additional 2 columns. Yung unang dadagdag is for the lower boundary. Yung sumunod naman is for the less than cumulative frequency. So doing that, we have this. So, ang hinahanap ay 90th percentile. Ito yung ating original given. So, mag-construct ka ng additional 2 columns para kay lower boundary at kay less than cumulative frequency. Ngayon, total natin yung ating frequencies. 1 plus 4 plus 7 plus 4 plus 3 plus 12 plus 15 plus 9. Ang total niya is 55. Next, kunin natin ang lower boundary. Sa pagkuha ng lower boundary, maminusan mo lang yung mga lower limits by 0.5. So, start tayo dito kay 81. 81 minus 0.5 is 80.5. Yun yung susulat mo na number dito sa cell na to. Next, is kay 71 naman. So, 71 minus 0.5 is 70.5. So, you have 70.5. Continue lang natin hanggang makarating sa baba. 61 minus 0.5 is 60.5. 51 minus 0.5 is 50.5. 41 minus 0.5 is 40.5. 31 minus 0.5 is 30.5. 21 minus 0.5 is 20.5. 11 minus 0.5 is 10.5. Now, we're done with the lower boundary. Next, punta tayo kay less than cumulative frequency. Start ka sa frequency ng lowest class. So, which is 9. Copy mo lang. So, that's 9. Next, add mo yung susunod na frequency. That's 9 plus 15. 9 plus 15, we know that that is 24. Continue mo lang. 24. Add it to the next frequency. 24 plus 12. And that is 36. Next, 36 plus 3. That's equal to 39. Continue mo lang hanggang makarating sa taas. 39 plus 4 is 43. 43 plus 7, that's 50. 50 plus 4, 54. And 54 plus 1 is 55. Okay, next. Hanapin natin si 90th percentile. Yung location ni 90th percentile class. Okay. We can get this by using the formula Kn over 100. So, si K papalitan ng 90, si N papalitan ng 55. We have 90 times 55 over 100. 90 times 55, that's equal to 4,950. 4,950 divided by 100 is 49.50. Gamit si 49.50, hanapin natin yung 90th percentile class. Alin dito? So, alin ang pinakamalapit na greater than or equal kay 49.50? Si 9 hindi kasi less than siya. 24 hindi dahil mas mababa siya kay 49.50. Si 36 hindi, mas mababa pa rin yan. Si 39 hindi rin, mas mababa kay 49.50. Si 43 hindi kasi mas mababa siya kay 49.50. Ayun, si 50 ang pasok. So, ito yung ating 90th percentile class. Yan, yung highlighted. Because nahanap na natin yung ating 90th percentile class, we can now use our formula. P sub k equals LB plus quantity Kn over 100 minus CFB over FPK times I. Kunin natin yung ating given. Si lower boundary, 60.5. Ayun. Ang N natin ay 55. Ang cumulative frequency before means yung nasa baba. Kung 50 to, yung nasa baba, which is 43. That explains bakit 43 ito. Frequency of the percentile class is 7. Ayun siya, 7. Ang interval natin, pag minusin mo yung upper limit by lower limit plus 1. 70 minus 61 plus 1. 70 minus 61 is equal to 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. So, ang interval natin dito ay 10. We're done with our given. Pwede na nating isubstitute sa ating formula. By substitution, we have this. Si P sub K naging P sub 90. Si lower boundary, 60.5, so substitute doon sa ating formula. Si Kn over 100, na-compute na natin as 49.50. So, palit kagad doon. Si cumulative frequency before, 43. Ayun. Si frequency of the percentile class is 7, so substitute. Ang I natin ay 10, substitute. Next, simplify natin to. 49.50 minus 43. Okay, so 49.50 minus 43, that is 6.5. Okay, 6.5 divided by 7, pwedeng rekta ka agad. 6.5 divided by 7 times 10. Ang lalabas na natin doon ay 9.2857. Dito ni-round off ko na siya ng 4 decimal places. Final step, add mo na lang. So 60.5 plus 90.2857, ang answer natin ay 98th percentile equals 69.7857. Ang kukunin lang natin ay 2 decimal places. So 8 to, dahil 5 yung sinundan, magiging 9. Our final answer therefore is 69.79. The 90th percentile is 69.79. Interpretation. This means that 90% of the family members aged less than or equal to 69.79 years. I hope clear sa inyo yung examples ng pagka-calculate ng measures of position for group data. That ends this video. Thank you for watching.